Happy 4th of July, and welcome to another day of celebration turned into holiday horror. I am Joe, and my other half here is my brother Ricky. Ricky, how you doing? Happy 4th, bro.
Happy 4th to Joe the psychologist. Oh yeah, we are cheer for big bottles of beer. I see you taking that sip, man. I
Oh,
gotta, I gotta indulge because we're going to the '90s, son. I was a junior in high school when this movie came out.
I graduated already. This came out in 97, so I'm class of
Is it
1990. So,
'97? I thought '96. All right, then I was a senior
well,
then.
Adam said the
If it
same
was
thing,
'97.
96. So maybe 90, when I opened it up on one to watch it on Prime, Prime had it as
Another
1997.
movie I never heard of until we did this series. I
Same.
never, I
I
never.
never saw it. So what movie are we talking about? It's Uncle Sam. It is directed by William Lustig, written by Larry Cohen, and it stars David Frolic as Master Sergeant Sam Harper.
Talk to me real quick because when I saw the credits to this movie, and I saw Isaac Hayes was in there, PJ Souls, fucking
Souls.
Robert Forster, bro.
This was a
Fuck.
cast like I'm
I'm
like,
like, wait a
oh,
minute, what am I watching? Is this like is this a B movie? I mean, I know it's a fucking Larry Cohen production, bro, but I'm like, what the fuck? They got some top names in here, but yeah, let's get into it,
I
bro.
was surprised with the names they had on here, but yeah. So, um, this takes place on the events eventually take place on 4th of July, which is why we're doing the episode for the 4th of July. And Master Sergeant Sam Harper. Well, Rick, who is he or what is he?
He's a revenant. No, Uncle Sam was a master sergeant in the military. He was shot down by friendly fire back during
Kuwait.
during the war sometime in Kuwait. So uh yeah, he was dead and he came back to life on the 4th of July when a bunch of delinquents fucking desecrated his fucking gravesite. They fucking burned the American flag all over it. Brought him back to life because he was shipped over to his spouse, right? Luis.
Sister.
No, his spouse,
Well, yeah,
right?
yes, but that's
Yeah,
his sister's
yeah,
house.
yeah,
She's lived with her.
exactly. But they she didn't have the space, so Sally, the sister, said, "Hey, I'll take him here." So they had the coffin just chilling. I don't know who does this, bro.
Yeah, does that is that even I've
I,
seen it
I'm
in Puerto
assuming
Rico
it
when
might.
I was a kid for a wake,
Yeah, bro.
but the military just
This
shows
guy's
up with listen, we're not laughing at it. It's
no,
just
no, no. It's
very,
just
very it was I
I
don't know, when it happened, like, "Here's your dead husband. We'll wheel him in coffin. All right, bye." I'm like, did they do that?"
the motherfucker actually told the widow now. He tells her, I know it's pain now, but you'll get over it. Like, Jesus Christ, what kind of reassurance is
Yeah.
that? But regardless, this guy's riding in a fucking casket here in his estranged sister's house, Sally, who has a son, Jody. That's his name, right? This guy's he admires his Uncle Sam. He's infatuated with this man. He's very patriotic. So on Independence Day, the celebration going on. Yeah, he get his gravesite gets desecrated, and he gets reanimated as a fucking walking zombie of sorts. And yeah, that's the crux of the film. Anyone that's not patriotic, which we'll get into later, but yeah, anyone that's not cool with that shit, you're fucked up. You're dead. So
Well, and it's weird because Jody idolizes him. He's like some hero, but he wasn't a hero at all. He was kind of a
no,
piece of shit.
thank you for that. You're right. Yeah, he was a psychopath who
Yeah,
physically and sexually abused his family, including his own sister and obviously his wife, who was afraid of him, super
yeah.
scared of this guy. And I could imagine if you get a word that you're like he gets killed in action. This is before we knew about his past, but I wouldn't be like, I'll be like, oh fucking finally, Jesus Christ, I'm free of this fucking madman, But she didn't. I didn't get those vibes. Did you get those vibes?
No, I mean the sister definitely did not
Oh
care.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
she wasn't. But
She knew.
the wife I couldn't well because she was seeing the sheriff, so
Yeah,
obviously she
deputy.
had
What
kind of
Phil,
moved
right? The
on.
deputy.
Yeah. So, but it was just kind of just I don't know. It was no, the movie's a little weird.
Okay, I'm glad
I
you brought up the deputy with Phil and the sister because I'll be honest, bro. When I saw this film and it cuts to when the sister arrives at the house, she gets dropped off by the sheriff's deputy. I thought that was Sally at first. I'm like, I didn't think there were two different characters. And when she mentioned like her husband, and just before that, she was talking to Sally, the sister was talking to Jody, saying my brother. But now she's talking about her husband. Like, wait a minute, who are these characters? Two blondes. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
I was a little too out of the. It was kind of late.
it could be confusing because they
I
look a
was like,
little bit
wait a
alike.
minute, what? But then when she arrives home and oh, there's two different characters. I'm assuming Sam is the brother of Sally, and the wife here, they're not related, but she's staying with Sally, you know? So, okay, I understand now, but I was really confused at first.
It can't well, because again, they kind of looked alike. Only after watching it a little longer, you realize the
Yeah.
differences.
Must be awful lonely being dead.
So this guy comes back, and I'm glad you said Revenant because he's not a zombie. He
Yeah.
basically he comes back, and his reason for killing, if you were unpatriotic, anything kind of un-American, he would kill you, but he was already a psychopath. You know what I mean?
And why
Like,
did he join the military, Joe?
because he needed to feed his bloodlust.
He wanted a reason to kill and not get in
Kill.
trouble for it.
So the character comes back to punish those who were not patriots, but he was like the worst. So
He was
that's
the
what
worst.
was weird in the bad guy in this movie, because it was a flawed person, obviously.
Yeah.
But the reason he was doing the killings is kind of like, but dude, you did some pretty fucked up shit yourself. So what makes you the, judgment on there? But yeah, I thought it was funny because we'd be fucked. He killed that poor girl for smoking weed. Like, put her face to the grill,
Which
you
is
know.
weird because I mean I'm assuming this guy was in he was in Kuwait, but in the fucking military, all the motherfuckers are smoking weed out there. I remember Platoon, man. My man Tony Todd smoking that fucking joint with fucking Matt Dillon. Was it? Wait, one of those Dillon, bro. I think it was Matt Dillon, right? One of them. I love that. I'm sorry. I love Platoon, but I always think about the military in the sense where, yeah, man, they got that grass, especially in the '60s. Well, they're gonna smoke that grass. So, which is weird when he killed a poor girl because she wanted a
Yeah.
little dude. You know what I'm saying?
I was hoping to kind of make up for the B that we'd get actually, those good, 80s, 90s types of kills. You did get some, but like a lot of it happened off screen and you would see like the result after. And
Bro, it's funny
I was
because
not happy about
I
that.
was taking notes, and I have that in my notes. Off-screen kills.
I it, like the
No.
movie could have like I feel like the movie because listen, you know, Adam comes in, we're watching it, he goes, did this win anything? Like, did it win at cons? Did it get any Oscars? And I'm like,
If I never
"Oh, you
really
being
heard of this
smart
film,
ass." I was like,
well,
because I
Adam
thought
is
it
a
was being.
smart ass.
Yeah, I was like, oh. I'm like, yeah, no, this movie, like, the acting isn't great, but it's supposed to be a black comedy,
That's
which.
the thank you. It's a black comedy, but in my opinion, there wasn't really anything funny about this movie to
Mm-mm,
label it. If you're gonna be a black comedy, you gotta be either really funny or so over the top that it makes it comical, and
yeah,
it's neither, which is weird.
no,
Sometimes, especially with the cast, again, we got Isaac Hayes in this fucking movie, the Duke. We got the Duke in this movie, but he's playing it straight. Like it's weird. I don't. It's a weird disconnect in this film. Very
it is.
strange.
It is. I guess what I'm saying. The premise of it all is, not a bad idea.
Oh, it's a
Um,
great concept. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're using Uncle Sam. It just so happens that, he's just called Uncle Sam because he's Jody's Uncle Sam.
Let's talk about
Kills
that guy.
the pervert who
That
just
was a very bizarre character with the guy in the stilts. Oh my
yes. Well, he's like peeping at the woman, and he gets caught. So
The only
that's why he
nudity, by
gets
the way, in this
killed.
film.
Pretty much. Not that you have a whole lot, but
No, but
yeah.
it's another thing. It's considered a slasher, but it's not a slasher.
Mm-mm.
And one thing with this film, I'll let you get back to your point, but when I think of slashers, at least the characters that are getting killed, you got some kind of connection with. Here, you didn't. There was no connection. You didn't care about
No,
really anyone, and I think it's not because like they were bad people. You just didn't get to spend a lot of time with them to care
no.
about them.
You only saw what they did bad.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be the reason they're going to get killed. I think they dropped the ball on it. Honestly,
Yeah.
I would have totally been okay if the deputy's kill was pretty cool, and when he grabbed the flag and as he's coming down, you got to see him like get impaled. I'm like, finally, you gave us something because everything else was off screen, and it just made it add like a level of cheesiness to it that didn't help the movie for me.
Who's back there? Stop following me.
So considering the people behind this film, like the director directed fucking Maniac. Tom Savini's Maniac, which I call it because Tom Savini did some of his best work on that film. And that was in your face gruesome. And here, man, it felt like a TV movie. That's the problem. That's the problem.
That's a good
Yeah.
that's a good way to put it because it did. It felt, except for the one kill, it seemed like it was a made for TV type of, because when he's like with the shears and walking up to the on stilts Uncle Sam. First of all, like you couldn't really get up. Like I would kick those shit, their shoes. Like
Yeah.
kick the shoes off, get up and run. But he stayed there. But you just hear the chopping, and I think the screen was black.
Yeah. I always say if you're not gonna show a kill and it's gonna transition to the next scene, be creative with the transition. Transition in a way where you don't need the gore. Like, oh, that was a cool ass transition. Rob Zombie's The Devil's Rejects is a good example of this. When Jeffrey Lewis's character, Roy Sullivan, was about to get killed by Bill Mosley's Otis, when he says, what's that classic line? Like, I'm the devil and I'm here to do the devil's work. And he starts cutting into him. They don't really show it, but he's screaming, right? You hear the screams, but it transitions into like this vocalization of this rock and roll artist who is on the TV that's being watched by another character in the movie. So it's the guy's screaming and his blood curdling screams transition into like this rocker just belting out some chords, and it's just such a cool transition that you don't need to see the actual gore. But here it just goes black screen and goes to the next scene. It's like,
Yeah. And then when you
there's
see
nothing
him walk
creative
out,
about that,
no,
it's
you then
lazy.
see him walking in the outfit, which if he
I
would have
like the
chopped,
fact that they did give him the outfit at least to be Uncle Sam. Yes.
but if he ended up stabbing the guy with the shears, there would have been blood
Oh, good shout.
on the outfit, and there was no blood on the outfit.
Good shout. You're right. Yeah, yeah.
And that's what was driving me nuts about this movie.
Production
Like,
flaw. Yeah.
yeah, like it's little things that I'm sitting there, and it sucks because, you know, coming in from Mother's Day and Father's Day, both of those were first watches. We had so much to say and so much. I'm not like saying that we don't have the energy, but you can feel when we were talking about it that those movies were like, oh, and then this one, I'm like, wow, like you just took the air out of like we had a good progression going with these movies.
Yeah.
And then we get Uncle Sam. And again, I wanted to find stuff holidays. I was like, is there a 4th of July?
Hey
And this
man,
is the only kind of thing that popped up. So I said, let's check it out.
they
And
can't all be winners.
no, I was like in my head going, oh, I hope it's a trauma, like another surprise trauma for us. Like, or if it's, at least gonna have
Yeah,
that
no
feel.
trauma film here. No.
Oh.
Who the hell are you?
It's a Larry Cohen production, though. He did the stuff.
And it's alive.
It's alive. Thank you,
It's
Jesus
alive.
Christ. He
I
did
mean, that's
It's
a
Alive. Yeah,
classic.
yeah. Also, these two, the director and writer combination also was involved in Maniac Cop, which is a good series. So
It's
they have the backing, they have the backgrounds. But here, I mean, it's not a terrible film by any means. But I think with this concept, they held back. It could have. I don't know if there was a reason for it, but I think it just needed to be a little bit more like, take the gloves off, guys. Come on, have fun with it. Like, go all the
yeah.
way. With a silly concept as this, go all the way with it. Have fun. Make it schlock. But they didn't. Especially for like a direct-to-video film. This was never a theatrical release. They could have they
Oh.
could have did more. I don't know, but yeah.
So yeah, he had like all this good reasons for doing the killing, but then it turned into selfish because he killed the deputy because the deputy was hooking up with his wife, who thought that he was dead. Who thought that he was,
Okay.
first of all, the wife thought he was dead, and then he went to go kill the wife. I mean, he was the one that was abusing her before he got, like when he would come back home and he got shipped off. So the abuser comes back as a revenant and is basically gonna kill her. Like the killer was killing people for not being patriotic, but then can now basically kill because, well, you fucked my wife, and but she thought you were dead,
You
and
said
you're
it
kind of
though.
an asshole.
You called it. You called it earlier because remember, he only like enlisted into the military because he wanted an excuse to kill people. So he's already a psychopath, right? So he just didn't want to get in trouble. But now that he's a revenant, he's fucking dead. He got nothing to lose. Yes, if you're, he's not using the like on a patriotic reason just to kill people. He'll kill anybody. But if you're unpatriotic and he don't know you, he knew these people. All right, I got an agenda. I'm gonna fuck her up. I'm gonna fuck him up for fucking my wife. While I'm fucking, So yeah, he has those reasons. But you did nail it. He's a psychopath. He doesn't need a reason at this point. He's just using this as an excuse, essentially.
Because how did he know that the teacher had run off for the draft?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
He
that's
killed the teacher.
plot holes.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, I mean, any other victims who got?
Wait, let's talk about the kills though, because yeah, all right. He is we mentioned he's killing people who are unpatriotic, like the young punks. By the way, one of those young punks, his name was Rick. Like, oh no. But yeah, there's three of them. Again, they were burning the flag right over his fucking gravesite. I think one guy was about to pee. Right, he's about to take a fucking
He was about
whiz.
to take a piss. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's before he got killed. So he killed two of those guys. He hung one of them. I forgot how he killed the guy that was gonna take a piss. How do you kill that guy? You remember?
He buried him alive.
Oh yeah,
He
Jesus
buried him
Christ.
alive. The
I
guy
forgot
wakes
about.
up he had a broken leg, which is another thing.
Oh yeah,
You
his
know,
bone was sticking out of his fucking leg.
yeah,
Yeah.
he spray painted him into the hole. That I'm sitting here like, really, like, this is supposed to be a killer, and
So
he's just gonna keep spray painting him. Like, why just not grab him and just kill him? Like, he just kept spray painting him blue, and I'm like, oh, okay, blue, I get it. Uncle Sam, red, white, and blue.
mhm.
But then he wakes up in the coffin with a broken leg, and you're like, how the fuck did he get in there?
You're right. Jeez, I forgot about that. He was spraying him he was spraying him a lot. And then when he's in the
What?
fucking ground, he's like, get a little bit of fucking paint on it. Oh, come on, guys. The way he was spraying him, his whole face should have been
Coated.
blown.
Should have been
Again,
coated.
this is the production flaws in this. But okay, so he got buried alive. The other guy got hung. The other guy got decapitated eventually. That guy's a fucking dick. Oh god,
potato
I'm
sack
glad he
race.
got killed. Yeah, I'm glad he got killed.
Well, because
Um,
he's going by, he's like he's racing and knocking people out of the. I've done that.
Not,
So
not just that, he fucking
I'm not
butchered the fucking national anthem on purpose.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah.
Alvin Cummings, Robert Forster, my man
I
from
know,
Jackie
that was-
Brown, Alligator. He got burned alive, right? He got fucking blown to fucking smithereens, right?
Yes, and then to another thing, he just shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's hated.
This guy's an
off the bat,
Oscar winner, bro. What the
Yeah.
fuck's going on here?
and is hated off the bat. People are like, "You crook."
Well,
But
he
then-
was a corrupt politician, so
He
yeah,
was,
those
but-
guys deserve it. So,
But it's weird. It kind of
But-
feels like this was Robert Forster was friends with Larry or
well,
William.
no, they worked together before. Yeah,
right,
no,
and
they
they
got a
called him
rapport.
and said,
Yeah,
"Hey, can you just come over here?
that's exactly what
We're
it
just
was.
gonna
yeah.
throw you in here. We're gonna throw you in here, and then we're gonna blow you up with fireworks." What do you think
Like,
about
all right,
that?
cool. How much am I getting paid? But Jody's teacher, you have mentioned it before. He opposed Vietnam, and he got killed by a hatchet to the face. All right, he got the hatchet. Sally's lawyer boyfriend. We talked about him, Phil. He got Ralph. Sorry, Ralph. That was his name. That was the lawyer who got the headshot. He got the gunshot to the face.
because he was scamming people.
Yeah. He was a fucking lawyer. So now the deputy, you're right. Phil is the one that got impaled with the American flag, and of course the teenage girl who lit the fucking joint
Poor
when
thing.
she was well, I don't know, she was those. I don't like ribs, bro. But when she took those ribs, started chopping them up, like, oh god, this is why I don't like that shit, bro. I know you like ribs. I know you
love
do.
ribs, I love
You know what though? Maybe if you cook me a nice, good, like tray of ribs, I might partake. I won't say no, but the ribs, in my experience,
I will put it to you this way: Adam has not been a fan of them, and the last rack that I made was completely turned because, first of all, he just automatically thought, like, I cooked mine, it's buttery in your mouth, it melts. So he always thought that feeling was fat, and I'm like, no,
See, I don't. That's the
my
thing.
meat is tenderized.
I don't
and
like
not-
when I bite into meat and I just gooey and rubbery and
No,
fat.
no,
That's why I like
no.
ribs. But that's
I
what I said.
make my ribs fucking kick ass.
One question for you before we wrap this up, though. Who the fuck is Barry? Where the hell did this kid come from? That blind kid.
Yeah.
He just showed up out of nowhere with
Out
a
of
weird
nowhere.
telepathic link to Sam. Like, what the fuck was it? I guarantee you that was probably, they had some exposition probably earlier in the film that, we gotta cut shit out. Trim this fat. We don't need it. But what the? This guy came up out of nowhere. Oh, like he got burned or something. I don't even know. They never
Firework. I
explained
think it was a firework.
fireworks. It was like a
yeah.
prank or some shit, right? But
Yeah, he was friends with Jody.
yeah, but they never went deep into that. Some random
No.
character that just became really important all of a sudden in the plot.
Adam goes,
Throw me, bro.
hasn't anybody watched that Uncle Sam is kind of touching the little boy in the wheelchair a little weird right now? Is nobody noticing this? And it's true, because he was sitting there for a while, touching his face,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it looked creepy. Like, where were
Oh,
the
yes,
parents?
yeah,
He's like, there's
yes,
no
I know
one
what you're
there
talking about
to
now.
notice that
Mind you,
Uncle Sam is fondling a child.
Who is it? Who are you?
and they said it. Oh, that was Uncle Sam, the guy dressed up. So they saw all that. And no one else. You're right. That crowded ass festival, the celebration of Independence Day. They got this guy dressed up as Uncle Sam, and I guarantee you, people saw him. He's like fondling his face. You said fondling, great term to use, great
Yeah.
word. He was fondling his face, and the kid's like, "Who is this?" He obviously had a glove on, so he couldn't really, tell. But oh man, that was weird, man. This
Yeah,
movie
and
had
then
a lot
all
of
of a
weird
sudden,
shit.
and then yes, now he's important because he can see what he's been doing. How? because is the burning, because they're both burn victims, the reason that they have this connect. Yeah,
They don't explain that shit, bro.
nothing. This was, listen. Would I say to check this out just to say I watched this movie, I saw it? I mean, go ahead and give it a shot. Honestly, I know it
I would
sounds.
say
I
it's
know
worth
it's
a
not. Yeah,
watch.
I
As
know
a
it sounds
horror
like we're sitting
enthusiast,
here.
if you wanna watch like everything, and I think this is worth watching. Only it's one of those movies that it's good to watch with a group of people.
Yeah.
Smoke some weed or drink some beer or both. Yeah, but you laugh at it. It's so bad that it's you just laugh at it, and not because it's funny, but because this is a bad film, but it's not a terrible film. I'm not
No.
trashing it. The reason why I'm upset about it is because it could have been better.
Yeah.
This concept was there, but they either go all the way in with the violence and dark subject matter, or go all the way into the black comedy exploitation aspect of it. They stood really safe in the middle, and that's the problem with the movie. By the
Well, and
way, the director was a PA on Tenebrae. Did you know that?
no, I don't know that. Yeah,
Oh,
I saw his credit list is long.
bro, he was the fake Shemp in fucking Army of Darkness. He was a dark man as a fucking dock worker. I was looking up as if I never really I didn't know him by name, and when I saw his credits, like, oh shit, that's right. This the name
Yes.
he did Maniac. I fucking love Maniac, and he was on it. But yeah, man, for the people involved in it, I'm not saying it could have been like fucking earth shattering, but it could have been a much. It could have been a film that was remembered more by people. If we didn't know about this, that's telling you
No.
something, bro.
Well, it could have been a Mother's Day or a Father's Day.
Yeah.
Like, and you could have created a character for a holiday that doesn't get a lot of movies.
Mhm.
We're
Yeah.
gonna get a second Thanksgiving with John Carver, because Thanksgiving was done right. You had the recipe. I mean, it's all there. 4th of July cookout. There's grills,
Bro, you keep talking
knives,
about food, bro. I'm getting
skewers.
hungry, bro.
But there's all these things involved with 4th of July. I thought using the flag to kill a deputy because it is 4th of July was a cool thing to do because
Good
it keeps
visual.
to with the character.
It's on theme. Yeah.
Yeah.
You never fought for your country. You just killed for the love of killing. You're nothing. So just die.
Oh, Jody.
The last thing I'm gonna say is in Jody's room. Of course, I wouldn't notice this, but he had a tank in the background with a turtle in it. He had a turtle, not a tortoise, a turtle this time. So.
I noticed Destro.
Oh, all right, all right. I was gonna bring this up. Thank you. His GI Joe collection was immaculate, bro. I grew up with GI Joes. I had most of those fucking not the vehicles. I wasn't rich enough to get the vehicles because back then it was pretty expensive. You had to have a lot of money to get all the accessories, but all the figures, bro, I had them all. When I saw Destro and I saw I'm like, oh yeah, that's my childhood right there. But again, this is 96, 97.
96,
So yeah, this is.
Yeah.
I will still listen. I still had a GI Joe collection in 96, 97. So I didn't play with them like I did back then. But I even to this day I'm a collector, obviously. But man, when I saw those Joes, I'm like, yeah, all right. I didn't like this Jody guy, but I like this collection.
Well, and when I saw, I even said, I'm like, Destro. Adam's like, how did you know that? I'm like, because I had Destro.
How did you know that? Destro's the one. When you look at GI Joes, I think Destro, Cobra Commander, obviously, Duke. Those are the top three like recognizable
Eyes.
characters. Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry. Jesus Christ, Snake Eyes is the top. He's the top of the list. Yeah, not to sidetrack, but I went back and rewatched the entire GI Joe series right a couple years ago. I didn't realize how little Snake Eyes was in. I'm talking about he's maybe 4 or 5 episodes, bro. I'm not
Yeah, there's
even.
not a
I'm
whole
not even
lot.
exaggerating.
No, yeah, no.
But he was so popular. I loved him.
I think the movie is where he was in a little bit more.
Barely,
And
no, barely,
then-
bro. The movie was more of a Nemesis Enforcer. That's and Sergeant Slaughter.
I mean, the
and more the
cartoon
newer
movies.
characters, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The newer one, because the newer movie was made to introduce newer characters to make newer toys.
It
Just
was
like the
Globulus.
Transformers movie was released to kill the old motherfuckers to make new toys. That's the only reason behind these films. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Those are the 90s. All right, anything else?
No, that's it, man. Same thing. It's good concept. It could have been so much better. It's not a terrible movie. I say
No.
get together with a few friends, have some beer, have a little cookout. Watch it, have a laugh at it. Just laugh at the not because it's funny, but the absurdity of having I say Oscar Isaac. Jesus Christ, Isaac Hayes, having him in this film. He played a pretty significant role too, which is
Yeah.
funny, and it's weird seeing him in it. I don't know. It's Robert Forster, and even the guy who played the weird, scummy fuck. I forgot his name, but he played the guy that told
Yeah, he's been in a lot.
Oh, he's in a lot of shit.
Well, it's funny because we're watching it and we're like, oh yeah, he's been in a lot. And we're like back in the 90s because we're forgetting that it's 2025. So
Who was Louise? Yeah, he went to tell Louise the bad news.
Bo Hopkins or
Bo Hopkins. Yeah, it's him.
Hopkins. Yeah,
he
Bo
was
Hopkins.
oh man, you should see her sister. Oh, I'm gonna get a piece of that. Like,
yeah,
Jesus Christ,
that's the other thing. You don't see his death. You don't see when Sam.
No, he was in like in the coffin, right?
Right. When
Yeah,
they open up the coffin, he's there, so you don't even get to see his death.
He was creepy when they showed a close up of him. Remember, foreshadow there. He was touching her hand the way they did the close up. That's when I knew. Oh, he's a creep factor. Creep factor. All right, brother. Let's take us home, bro.
Well, thank you for joining us for another episode. We watched this on Prime Video, so if you have Prime, you'll be able to watch it for free with some ads. It's on Tubi also.
Wait, you had ads?
With Prime has ads.
Nah, me, brother. Ricky Van don't.
So
do
you must
ads,
be must be paying for the more.
Hell yeah! I don't do ads, bro. That's why I don't watch Hulu. I ain't paying for that.
On some of the other stuff.
I refuse to pay for that because I pay a big package for my Disney Plus with Hulu and ESPN, and the motherfuckers want to add ads, and you want to pay more to get rid of them? Nah, papa, not this guy. But yeah, man, I don't do ads.
Well, with that, enjoy your 4th of July. If you watch this episode after your picnic, well, that means you behave and Uncle Sam did not get you. But make sure you are patriotic because if not, Uncle Sam is going to show up and fuck you up. Happy 4th of July.
Salute. And do me a favor, don't blow off your limbs with fireworks.
No.
Use your head.
Yeah.
Stay scared.
Hey, Rick, you still here?